order for you to experience the most abundant version of yourself, you have to make peace with your past. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, of course, there is no right or wrong way to heal yourself, so always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest, and grab your pen and your paper and be prepared to take notes. In this video specifically, we're going to go over 5 recommendations on how to forgive yourself, as well as why it is important, as well as 5 disclaimers and 5 things to be aware of when you do decide to forgive yourself as you're healing. The first thing you have to realize is that forgiveness is a choice. So because forgiveness is a choice, you have to allow yourself grace. That's the first thing you should be aware of. When giving yourself grace, you cannot continue to beat yourself up, because in our past, we made certain choices in the moment based off of what we knew. Rather it was negative, rather it was positive, confirmation, don't mind the smoke alarm in the background, rather it was right or wrong. We made certain choices based off of what we saw, what we've been taught, what we've been exposed to from family, friends, communities, and even just us being influenced. And a lot of times when we made these decisions and we made these choices, we were naive. We did lack knowledge. We didn't have the same wisdom and the discernment that we currently have right now, or that we had to learn over time. So speaking from experience, what has helped me along my healing journey and learn to forgive myself was to accept that I don't deserve to beat myself up when I had to learn certain things alone, or I didn't have the moral support, I didn't have the finances, I didn't have the resources, I wasn't educated. I don't think it's fair to you or I to be so hard on ourselves when we had to learn certain things when we didn't know any better. Now, unless you knew better and you made a certain choice, it just comes with consequences. And just because we made certain choices that came with certain consequences, or that over time affected us, doesn't mean that it's the end of the world or that you can't move past it. The only reason why a lot of times people have a hard time forgiving themselves is because you weren't shown and taught forgiveness. You weren't shown and taught grace, whether that was from your family or whoever you are around. And when you don't have people to show you, or you weren't taught and shown things, a lot of times you become closed off. A lot of times you automatically start to talk negatively towards yourself and onto others, and you project that. You suppress how you feel. You become resentful. You become bitter. You become angry, instead of realizing that you did what you did in the moment based off of what you had. The second thing you have to be aware of when you decide to heal yourself and as you're giving yourself grace is that it's going to take time. Forgiveness and healing is not a one-size-fits-all. It could take years, it could take days, it could take months. So being patient with yourself and learning how to speak to yourself in a positive way, you have to realize that you are holding your own hand. You are being there for you. You are mothering and fathering a version of you that you were once connected to. And a lot of times people try to invalidate their past or sweep their problems that they experienced underneath the rug, not realizing that's who you were. And until you are gentle with that version of yourself, until you're able to understand that self, until understand that version of yourself, until you're able to make peace with that version of yourself, you're constantly going to deny a part of you and still feel insecure or have imposter syndrome or block opportunities from people, places, and things who want to show you forgiveness, who practice forgiveness, or just receive the things that you want. You cannot hold on to old baggage and old mindsets and old behaviors from a place of lack if you want to be abundant. So before you learn how to forgive the people and the places and things who hurt and harm you, learn to forgive yourself. Learning to be patient with yourself. And you guys, I apologize for that noise in the background. Don't pay attention to that. That needs to be fixed. But from experience, when you learn to give yourself grace, when you allow yourself to grieve, you realize, you know what? I made that decision because, once again, nobody's shown me this or nobody told me that. The example that I give is that when I was 19 years old, I got into a really bad car accident, you guys. I almost died. Like, the type of car accident that I got into, it was life and death. And At the time, of course, I was upset and I was traumatized, but afterwards, for a period, I used to be conflicted and I used to feel so bad about getting into that car accident because, like I said, it was a lot that came with it. But as I've grown older and as time went by, I had to realize now at the age of 28, I couldn't be so hard on myself because I only had experience with driving with 3 adults my entire time. One time with my mother, the other time with one of my closest friends, their mom, and my dad. I wasn't taught how to drive. So when I got into that accident, I was young. I was inexperienced. And we have to learn to realize that sometimes we are inexperienced in life. But just because we're inexperienced or we're naive or we haven't been shown and taught things once again, doesn't mean that we have to limit ourselves. Now at the age of 28, I take my time driving. I've improved driving. And like I said, I don't play when it comes to certain things. I'm not somebody that's reckless. I don't like when people drive fast and stuff. And it wasn't even about me driving fast. It's just not knowing. So when you realize that you didn't know better, you'll do better. But that takes time. So the third or fourth thing, let me know what number I'm on, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into the recommendations, is just knowing that you forgiving yourself is for you. When it comes to other people and places, that's going to be a different topic for a different video. Let me know if you guys want me to go ahead and get into that immediately. But when it comes to you, you deserve the apology to yourself. Because when you don't have family, when you don't have friends, you're doing things alone. Other than God, ancestors, and universe, take what resonates, leave the rest. Amen, amen, ashe, ashe. Or Allah, whatever you choose to believe in. When you are figuring out life by yourself, it is a lot more responsibility. So it's just like you can't compare your life to other people. And you have to realize that if people are judging you and they're not, giving you the same grace from having to learn and figure out things yourself, and they don't pour into you, you don't need to be around these people. But most importantly, you deserve, to be gentler to yourself. Learning to be nicer to yourself and kinder to yourself, especially if you were treated a certain type of way, it requires a level of peace. It requires a level of maturity. And once again, you have to go through your emotions. So you can't invalidate them. When you decide to forgive yourself, you have to validate your emotions, which means you're going to go through periods where you are going through withdrawal. Some days you're going to feel happy. Some days you're going to be mad. Some days you're going to have time with yourself, God, ancestors, and universe. You're going to have to find healthy ways to cope, whether that's journaling, exercising, meditating, having time with a therapist, confining in a guidance counselor, friends, people that you love and trust, or making sure that you guys are following these videos and booking a service in a session with me, your favorite mental health specialist. Forgiveness takes time, especially when you just feel like it's the end of the world, or you can't see past where you are right now, or you feel like you're not worthy of letting things go or forgiving yourself. So now, what are the 5 recommendations? The first thing you have to do in order for you to forgive yourself is know that when you choose to forgive yourself, you must be prepared to let everything go. You could forgive yourself and change your ways. You could forgive yourself and let go of that version of you. You could forgive yourself and move forward. You have to continue to move forward when you decide to forgive yourself. It doesn't make sense to forgive yourself and then constantly bring up things that you did. Now, of course, because it takes time, you don't have to rush forgiving yourself. But when you decide to forgive yourself, you're going to forgive yourself, and it is what it is. The second thing you do once you let it go is work on what you lacked and work on the things that you want to continue to do. So if you are learning to forgive yourself from certain areas of your life, whatever it is that you don't want to do, you have to continue to work towards. You have to continue to practice. With you doing that, you have to create affirmations. So when you put in the work, and let's just say you have moments in the beginning because it's unfamiliar, you could be afraid and you're doubting yourself, but you're putting in the work and you're afraid, you have to be able to reassure yourself and affirm that you putting in the work, you practicing forgiveness is going to benefit you long term, and that you're going to get to a level of forgiveness where you are at peace with yourself. The third thing or the fourth thing, once again, let me know where I'm at, okay, is realizing that when you decide to forgive yourself, when you let things go and you're practicing and you're affirming it, you don't go backwards. All of us have a past. All of us have gone through things. Nobody is perfect. Some people, of course, are more good people and had certain resources. But once again, you can't compare your forgiveness to other people because, once again, people don't know what you go through behind closed doors. You're the only person who knows what you go through behind closed doors. And when it comes to other people, because once again, I know this is something that people ask all the time. When it comes to people hurting you and harming you, like I said, that's a whole different topic within itself. But I will just say this. When you learn to forgive yourself, you can forgive what other people did to you. You can't be focused on other people because at the end of the day, you're only responsible for yourself. And this doesn't mean that what people said and did was right. I'm not trying to validate your experience, but speaking from experience, you could forgive yourself and other people can continue to live their life and not care and not apologize to you. So instead of expecting an apology from other people, when you apologize to yourself, you could just allow things to be what it is. If those people and places and things want to apologize, they will. If not, it's not going to affect you because you know that you're trying to do right. You know that you're trying to become better. And that's all that matters. So when you decide to forgive yourself, you have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest. You have to be vulnerable. These videos are for the mature audience only. And mature is not a race. So it's not black, white, Asian, Hispanic. It's not a hey. It's not a they. It's not a she. It's not a we. It's not a he, an E, F, or G. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other people. Forgiveness is always going to be for you. You deserve forgiveness because, once again, if you didn't know any better, you know now. And if you did make certain choices and you thought you were bigger than the program, a hard head makes a soft behind. Learn from the consequences of your actions so you don't have to continue the same cycles. And with you being honest and vulnerable and being mature, you can't judge yourself. You have to be honest when it comes to you forgiving yourself. You don't have to be frustrated and sad just because you did certain things. Like, we all do certain things that sometimes maybe we're not proud of. Okay, and that's a part of life. That's the beauty of life. And as a mature person, as a grown person, you can acknowledge that. You don't need to be embarrassed or ashamed because you did do what you do. And it happened. You can't go back in the past. You can only be present and do the best that you can today. So therefore, over time, you become better. And that's how you become great. That's how you become abundant. So don't allow past choices from yourself or from people, places, and things hinder you because you don't want to block opportunities and experiences from new people and environments and communities if you are beating yourself up. So your homework assignment, if you're new here, is to create an affirmation anytime that you're doubting yourself, as well as practicing what you can do to forgive yourself. And what I mean by that is, what are some ways that you can forgive yourself? Whether it's a physical thing, whether it's a mental thing, whether it's an emotional thing, like what can you do to start to forgive yourself? And your homework assignments are due in the next video or in this video in the comment section. So thank you guys for liking this video all the way to the end. Thank you for turning on your post notifications so you're subscribed. And most importantly, thank you for following me on all my social media platforms. All the information will be down in the description box below. And if you're interested in the service in the session, make sure you head to my website at TiGuidanceDecember.com. Once again, it'll be in the description down below. If you're not able to afford a session or a service, that's fine. Follow me on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I will be going live answering you guys' questions and concerns if I haven't answered them, already here on YouTube. And DM me on Instagram if you just need, some one-on-one time. But don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed. You don't have to continue to beat yourself up. You learning to forgive yourself will free you. It will release you from the shackles and it will allow you to grow and be around the people and the places and things who are going to love you and support you for you. Why is it important to apologize to yourself? Because if you don't get the apology from other people, places, and things, the least that you could do is apologize to yourself. So with that being said, let me know what you guys want to talk about in the next video. Until next time, thanks for watching. See you later.